Hey guys, welcome to Unbiased Rugby. Obviously the Springbok team was selected yesterday, or the initial squad of 40, which is quite a big squad that he selected, that Rusty selected, but I think there's some method to his madness of why he selected such a huge big squad. I think because obviously the Wales game and a week later the England game, so there has to be a bit of divide, and I also think he has to build up a bit of depth at certain positions. So yeah, look, overall I was pretty happy with the squad, but like Victor Matfield said, it was pretty difficult not to be selected because of such a big squad. But I know after they come back to Wales that it'll be trimmed down to probably 30, 32, I reckon, around about that kind of level. And then obviously with some of the major injuries that are out there, especially the four players, Cooney, Malcolm, Warren and Eben, it obviously would trim down even more with players like that. So, but overall, I like the selection. I think it was a good cross section of South African rugby. I'm glad that there weren't too many overseas based players. The one overseas based player that I think he's injured or he's having surgery now that did miss out would be Vincent Koch, which I probably think is probably one of our best tight heads at the moment. Not that Frans Malherbe is bad or anything like that, or Wilkelo is bad. It's just I think one's coming back from injury and one's probably got not as much experience as Vincent Koch. But yeah, look, I think 17 uncapped players is a lot of uncapped players, which I think is only 8. I've wrote it down here, 8 in the front and 9 in the back. The other thing that I liked about the selection was it's nice that two Pro 14 players were chosen. Oxenchair, who I've always rated as a good loose head prop. I have always thought that maybe he's probably about 5 kilograms underweight, and if he puts on that extra 5, it's amazing. If Oxenchair puts on 5 kilograms, he'd be a better prop, and if Wilkelo lost 5 kilograms, he'd be a much better prop. So yeah, it's nice that Opa Mahoja and Oxenchair also been selected for the thing. It'd be nice if they actually got some game time, because it would give some legitimacy to the Cheetahs playing up north, that they actually do have Springboks that play for them, and we don't just reserve our Springboks for the Super Rugby sides, and that we are putting impetus and some, because I honestly feel that the Cheetahs are going to do a lot better next year after they've had an off season and they've been able to buy some players. Well, actually the Cheetahs don't really buy players, they normally lose players, but it'd be nice that they now actually have some Springboks that are in the fold, and also that they take that knowledge back from the Springbok camp through to the Pro 14. So yeah, some other players that I thought did very, very well in being selected. Kwagga Smith, finally he's in the squad. I'm really hoping that he does get a game, because he's the guy gave up 7s to follow his dream of becoming a Springbok, and I think he's an exceptional player, real workhorse. But yeah, I was, coming back to the international players that were selected, it's quite strange that if you look at the positions that were selected, it's essentially the spine of the team that's been selected. If anyone doesn't know the spine of the team, I'm sure you all do. That's 2, 8, 9, 10 and 15. That's the spine of your team. And you've got Bismarck at 2, Dwayne Vermeulen at 8, Faf de Klerk at 9. I know we don't have a 10, but we've obviously got Frans Steyn as a pretty utility back, and then Willie Leroux at 15. So it is I could see Rusty's plan there, because those are generally your power positions that you need a lot of experience in those positions. And I'm not saying that these players are going to be playing all the time, but I think having a Bismarck there is probably the closest we have to a Malcolm Marx. I do think Malcolm Marx is a better hooker now. In the day, maybe Bismarck was a little bit better, but for somebody like Aka van der Merwe, he's going to learn a hell of a lot from Bismarck. Dwayne Vermeulen's a heavy taskmaster. He absolute professional, and he expects the most from all his players. Billy Leroux has just got that absolute flair. And all these players like Galant under Willie would learn so much from Willie Leroux. The whole back line would learn from somebody like Frans Steyn. The guy's played almost, I can't think of any position he hasn't played in the back. Maybe he hasn't played scrum half, but he's probably even been in the scrum. So I think a player like Frans Steyn, I think every single, from the centres to the wings to the fullback to all those positions, he'll just bring that kind of stability. And he's playing exceptional rugby now. Faf de Klerk is probably the only scrum half that we have at the moment. I know I've been watching Ross Cronje, and I don't know what's happened, but he seems to throw too high. Every time Yankees needs to catch the ball, it's almost like he's got to catch it above his head. What was quite interesting was obviously there's been 4 scrum halves chosen, and 3 of them are uncapped, which is that's quite intense. But it is a position that we don't have a lot of depth in, and there's no point in lying about it or denying it. It's a simple fact that we have very little depth at 9, and maybe the uncapped players, he's just going to have to roll the dice, and hopefully we get a scrum off out of it. It's just those 3 guys have been given a golden opportunity to step up and take it forward, because even though I think Faf de Klerk is a brilliant scrum half, I'm just not sure if he's Aaron Smith, because like I try to look at various positions, like Bismarck's a great number 2, number 8. I think Dwayne Vermeulen's an incredible number 8. I'm just trying to think who would learn from him. Dan Dupree would probably learn from him. There's quite a few players that would learn from. So I think there's quite a good mix there. I can basically see what Russie's trying to achieve. Looks like he's going for quite a strong forward pack. Big boys that know how to run hard. Backline got a bit of flair, bringing in a bit of stability. I'm great to see all 3 Dupree boys on the team. I wasn't sure about Robert Dupree, but he played great for the Barbarians, so maybe he can step up to that level. Great to see Curran Bosch there. I hope that they protect him for a while and they don't just throw him in the deep end. But yeah, I was looking at sorry, I've got it on the screen here, so I'm actually looking at it while I'm chatting to you guys. But yeah, all in all, I'm pretty happy. It's not a bad side. Look, once we've had the Wales test and it's been cut down to 32, we'll have a bit more of an understanding of where Rusty wants to take this team. Once we start our first game against England, we'll have even a better understanding of what kind of game plan he wants to do. Also, they were saying on television yesterday that Swys de Bruyn's also going to be included in, it might be the first test or a few of the first tests as another coach. So it looks like Rusty's going to try hopefully bring in all the franchise coaches at certain times to try get buy-in from the franchise coaches on the national plan, because essentially Rusty needs to get buy-in from the coaches, so they will start implementing the kind of game plan that he wants. He's trying to think of bringing in. Maybe there can be some kind of intellectual property swap, between the coaches and Rusty from a national into a franchise level. But yeah, look, I'm looking at this side and the first selection, and I don't think it's that bad. Yes, I'm going to be honest. When I looked at the New Zealand selection, that's a step up. But there's a lot of uncapped players. There's a lot of experimenting here, which is what we need. I think he needs to see what our stock can do, and he needs these uncapped players to step up and fill in these positions, because at the end of the day we need a backup for Malcolm Marx. We need someone. If Bismarck's not going to carry on playing forward and it's going to be Aka, we need Aka to run on the 60th minute to have that impact straight away. It must be a similar kind of player to that. scrum half exactly the same. You know, these kind of positions, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 9. These guys can't play the full game. They can only play 60 minutes. They're such dynamic positions, and it takes a lot out of them playing in the front row. So you've got to have decent backups for especially 1, 2, 3, and 9. Especially those positions. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with the selection. I'm looking forward to the finding out who our captain's going to be. It's going to be quite interesting. There's a lot of talk about a few people, and the rumor is that he might choose someone quite young. I know the rumor mill's circulating that it might be Andre Pollard, might be the new captain, which essentially it does make sense because he is young enough that he is going to appear in the next 2 World Cups. So maybe that is a good selection. If he's maybe waiting for Warren to not be injured, maybe you'll choose someone like Dwayne, or maybe even Sia as interim coach, as interim captains until then. Sorry. But yeah, I also think he needs to create some kind of leadership group. We can't just rely on a Warren Whiteley or a Sia or a Dwayne. Sure, I just forgotten the name. Willy Leroux. You know, these Franstein. You know, the more established players to be. We need a decent leadership group going forward. Warren's being rested or whatever. There's someone can just step up. They know the game plan. They know what's happening. So yeah. But overall, I'm happy with the team. Please, guys, give me your opinion on the team. Try be constructive. I'm not looking for that's a rubbish team, we're going to lose for the rest of the year. Be constructive and be constructive about what the team is, and also try to be positive. You know, I really don't want a channel that's not constructive and not positive. So yeah, if you can keep it to those kind of things, that would be great. Or actually just tell me I'm a football and leave it at that. But yeah, let's look at the team and try to think of the kind of game plan that he wants to do, and yeah, we'll take it from there. But listen, guys, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me the thumbs down. Share it, don't share it. It's up to you guys. But you know, last weekend I was thanking everyone for making 100 followers, and I'm almost at 150, and that's in less than 7 days. So yeah, guys, if you like it, please share it. If you give me a thumbs up, great. But listen, guys, I'm not going to chat today about the Super Rugby games, which was, I don't want to talk about that. I was watching the Bulls game and I was getting a little bit frustrated, you know, because they should have won that game. I was brawling outside, and then I was putting my head through the window, and I thought, oh, you come down. And yeah, so that was a little bit frustrating. The Sharks also a little bit frustrating. The Lions, ugly win. A win's a win. The Lions as a South African, we need the Lions to be doing well. They're the only team that obviously can probably win the African Conference right now. I know the Sharks have an outside chance. The Hawaris are smoking hot. So yeah. But we'll chat about that probably later in the week. But yeah, I just wanted to say I'm happy with the Springbok squad, and I'm really looking forward to the first test, and I'm super positive about our results. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye.